An Impact. I am your host, as always, Chad Porter. Joining me is the cantankerous Zachary Tyler Pew Pew. Whatchamacallit? Hey, it's Halloween time in the neighborhood. Duncan. We're here to talk about wrestling and Impact Wrestling and TNA and other TNA and Impact stuff, like meteors hitting the Earth. Kalu Kalay. Zachary, how are you?
I'm dandy.
Dandy like a
I'll go with dandy.
Only this dandelion didn't have his head pop off. Zach covered Bound for Glory on another show. You weren't invited.
And that's fine. I didn't want you to invite me anyway. I didn't invite you to invite me.
Well, I figured since I'm going to be the best man at your wedding. I hear no arguments about that, so I'm going to just assume that that's going to happen now. I hope you don't mind if I celebrate Halloween a little late or early at your wedding. I'm thinking skeleton mask and skeleton dress suit. It's just a normal dress suit, but has bones on it. Painted, not formal, hard 3D bones. I'm not a redneck. Zach does not like these ideas.
No, not particularly.
I can tell by the lack of tone. All right. Jokes aside.
All right.
Bound for Glory.
Bound for Glory.
I already covered it.
It was this past Saturday.
Yes, I already covered it. You can listen to it on the website, realnerdcorp.com, REALNERDCORP.com. Me and Marcus, we did the damn thing about it. We talked about it last night. It's up on the YouTube channel. Same YouTube channel you're listening to this on. So just go click on the little icon, and it's a little over to the right. It's that one. No, not that one. No, you went too far. God damn it, Steve. It's 2-0. It's 1 over. It's just the next one. Yes, that one. So if you want to hear our thoughts, that's there. But Zach, what are your thoughts about Bound for Glory? You can truncate it because we don't need 40 minutes of you pontificating about the main event.
I mean, honestly, the main event is not even the thing that I took the most issue with.
Which was?
Well, the thing that I took the most issue with was actually the Knockouts Championship.
Yeah.
Because obviously, Rich Swann was going to beat Eric Young. Obviously, it was. I mean, everyone knew it was going to happen for months. No surprise, no shock. Again, the whole. I don't know why they even bothered to do if Eddie regains the world title, then Rich Swann will face him at Bound for Glory shtick. Because that was fucking stupid. So, Knockouts Championship. It's supposed to be Deonna Purrazzo versus Kylie Rae. I believe we both picked Kylie Rae to come out as the new Knockouts Champion.
Yup.
Turns out Kylie Rae wasn't there.
Nope.
Kylie Rae did not show up for the match. So, Deonna's like, well, I guess I'll just fight whoever. And then, of course, Su Yung comes out and beats Deonna Purrazzo and is the new Knockouts champion. And the whole time, from the moment that Su Young's music hit, I was just saying to the screen, why? Just why? Like Kylie Rae came in when? Around the beginning of the year?
I want to say she popped up at last year's Bound for Glory.
I think she did. I think you're right. I think she was in some Battle Royal or something. But then did make her. But I don't think she made her main roster debut for a little bit after that. But
correct.
regardless, Kylie. I mean, it's been pretty fair to see that Kylie Ray has been, been positioned to be a future Knockouts champion, and deservedly so. No issue with that whatsoever. So, her winning it at Bound for Glory makes sense. Made sense. Why we went through this whole roundabout nonsense bullshit to bring back Su Yung? I mean, to give her the Knockouts, she never should have had the Knockouts title in the first place.
Too young?
The only yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
The only reason she won the Knockouts title is because her original feud with Rosemary got injured, and they needed something for her to do. So I don't know why they decided to give it to her again. Why we jumped Kylie Ray out of the picture and just gave it to Su Yung for no reason. Deonna Purrazzo is a much better champion than Su Yung. And this whole time, for the past few weeks, I've been thinking to myself, and we've been saying this on the air, why wasn't the main event for Bound for Glory Deonna Purrazzo versus Jordynne Grace?
Oh.
Why? Why did any of this happen?
So I have some answers.
What are the answers, Chad? Give me answers.
So, firstly, it should be noted that Kylie Ray, this was not the story. Kylie Ray legitimately did not show up for Bound for Glory.
Uh-huh.
Kylie Ray has been vague, but it's kind of well known in most circles that she deals from a lot of mental and emotional disorders. Or one severe one. I don't know. I don't want to start dropping more afflictions on her than she needs. She has something wrong with her, be it depression, anxiety, what have you, that has curtailed her wrestling career on more than one occasion. There was some concern originally with her when she left AEW as to why. Why did she leave AEW? Some believe that it was because of an issue between her and Brandy Rhodes, considering how gung-ho the being the Elite crew are. I'm not that surprised that that's the rumor, because that makes sense. Cody and Brandy have shown themselves to be pretty crassless and tactless and at times pretty trashy. Brandy, I loved you. Would have married you. But posting thirst traps on your social media account when women are accusing your male wrestlers of sexual assault, same day, that's some tactless, dumbass bullshit. Soured me on Brandy for a good time. Kylie left AEW last year and then came to Impact. Everything seemed fine. But for whatever reason, Saturday rolls around. She was there on Friday. They knew she was in town on Friday, ready to go. But then something happened. We don't know what. And she was vague on why she took a break from wrestling in the first place after her departure from AEW, so who knows?
Yeah.
She did not show up to the venue. She did not respond to calls, texts, what have you. No one could get a hold of her. They didn't know heading into the title match if she was even alive. That's not to say that she had done anything to get into that position, but that's how radio silent she was. They established, I think, before the end of the broadcast that she was fine, or at the very least, safe. So the last second decision was Su Yung. I said on the full Bound for Glory review that it was a bad idea in the first place because it hot-shotted the angle for needless reasons when you could have just had Taya go out there and do 15 minutes in a good match and lose. I mean, at this point, you're already going to lose anyway. Now, as we saw, as we'll see on Impact, they really turned chicken shit into chicken shit salad. So, if you're a fan of chicken salad, I'm not. So more like lemonades into lemon or lemon into lemonade. Either way, I'm a fan of lemons, so I'm on board. But the issue with Kylie Ray now comes from this aspect of, while we all kind of respect mental illness and people having issues with it, there comes a time when you need to be more than your illness, you're more than your mental affliction, and at the very goddamn least, return a text.
Yeah.
That to me is the biggest problem, is that they were wrestling the Knockouts title match with the company having no idea if Kylie Rae was still with us on this plane of existence. That bothers me. There's no excuse for that. If you call me and you go, I am so out of my head right now, my arms are vibrating, my teeth won't stop chattering, I just cannot move, I'm having a mental breakdown, I cannot wrestle tonight and or tomorrow or what have you, I would be like, that's fine. Take care of yourself, we'll work around it. But the lack of decency to respond and let people know you're alive, that sits wrong with me. It's not to the point where, I want to be very clear. We're not that wrestling show. Like we'll criticize someone who's getting pudgy because, like, y'all, you're athletes. You want to fake wrestle, fake pretend to be an athlete. That's all I'm saying. Eddie. And I love Eddie. But, bro, less beef. What are those Wendy's burgers? Less beer battered cheeseburgers, more grilled chicken, homie. By the by, Deonna Purrazzo, liking the new outfit. Just gonna say that. It does a lot to make her look more of a star, because the other outfit she had was not flattering.
No.
This one is very flattering. Very flattering. But as far as Kylie goes, like, we're not that show. We're like, hey, she's fucking terrible. We hate her. No, like, she's got her own issues. And I'm also not that person, though, who's going to make, I'm not going to give her passes that I wouldn't give anyone else. Just because you have an affliction doesn't mean you have the right to, do your own thing and get special treatment. You have a certain obligation to live a life that you can be dependent on. That people can look at you and go, yes, even if you have your issues, I know we can at least rely on you to a degree. She has proven now on two different situations that is not the case. This isn't a she bad, let's hate her comment. This is a perhaps pro wrestling isn't suited for her frame of mind comment. And that's not a slanderous statement. It's not meant to be an insult. As I said on the Tuesday show, the Wrestling Mainstream podcast, if you have asthma, don't be a firefighter. If the sight of blood, scares you, don't be a surgeon. If you deal with anxiety issues, maybe being a cop isn't a good idea. If heights are a problem, maybe don't man a hot air balloon. You should not be doing things that will end up being a problem for you. If performing for her is causing her such anxiety or depression or what have you that it's causing her to literally miss the biggest moments of her career, then this is not the career for her. She's a talented young woman. But she's nearly 30, and she hasn't figured out a way to deal with this yet. And that is concerning, considering we were having the same conversations about Jeff Hardy, but he's on the other end of the spectrum. For Kylie, I do accept that this is something that might be out of her control. Like the emotional impact that she may sustain from whatever bouts that she's going through, I understand might be out of her control. So it's a different situation than Jeff. Jeff has an impulse control issue and needs to just be an adult and not do drugs. It's not hard. I don't care what your cravings are. That's an impulse control. Fucking stop. For Kylie, it's a vastly different thing because your body may react unpredictably to however you're feeling. I've seen it happen before. I know it's a real thing. For me, though, it's the lack of accountability that's a problem. If you are booking someone to come in and do a show and you're advertising them and then they no-show, they become unreliable. It doesn't matter if it's Sid Vicious playing softball, Jeff Hardy doing all the drugs, or Kylie Rae dealing with her own mental and or emotional issues. It's still in the same category of you're becoming unreliable. And especially for the biggest show of the year, for it, not even just the biggest show of the year, but this was Deonna Purrazzo's biggest match of her career. And you fucking, not on purpose, obviously, but you tanked that for her. So it's kind of one of those things where, just because you have that affliction doesn't mean that you're going to be given a pass. Nor should it.
Yeah.
So I do have an update from Fightful Select. We all know I feel about Sean Rossi, sappy boy. According to them, there is no bad blood between Impact Wrestling and Kylie Rae. It is said the company remains hopeful that she will be able to return. The company's next television tapings are on November 17th through the 20th. They have a lot of loose ends tie up with Kylie Rae's storyline, and there might be an opportunity for her to return and revisit that. It was not noted if the plan was for Kylie Rae to win the Naka title from Gianna Prazzo, as Su Yung did. The exact reason for why Rae no-showed the pay-per-view is also unknown. There isn't any pressure on Kylie Rae to come back as soon as November 17th, but it seems that the door is open for her to do so. It is also notable that none of the roster that we spoke to with... let me reread that. That none of the roster that Fightful Select spoke with had heard from her as of Tuesday morning. Not last Tuesday morning, this Tuesday morning, following Bound for Glory. So she's gone incognito. She's been, radio silent for 2 days. It's one of those things where, this is going to be a recurring problem until she gets a handle on it. And I don't know what she's doing or not doing or what has been done or what hasn't been done, but if she wants to stay in the wrestling business and, keep her position in Impact, she needs to start addressing these issues. If you have a broken arm, I ain't going to sit there and go, we got a broken arm. It's been 16 months. That's fine. No, you clearly didn't get it checked. You clearly didn't get it set. It's clearly broken still. It healed out of place. Now you have 2 elbow joints. What the hell even happened there? You needed to go get checked. And if you have a mental or an emotional issue, you need to be seeing a doctor to get that checked. It's not going to heal the same way as a broken bone. I know that. I'm not naive. But if you're not treating it, then you're letting it win. And I have no sympathy for people who won't do the work to get better. Do the work, Kylie. Do the work. You're a good hand. You're a good hand. Kid, you got some moxie. But if we can't trust you to show up when we need you to show up, then we can't trust you to be on the roster. That's just that simple. Zach, do you have any other opinions on Bound for Glory?
The only other one I guess I have a real issue with was the Moose EC3 match.
Oh, God, that was trash.
It was so bad. And for one thing, I don't know why, when, how. I know when, Matt Hardy, that wrestling decided to have these just overly produced matches, quote unquote, that are in undisclosed locations, but we have camera crew. Okay, sure. I don't know, when. Why is this? You could have this match could have happened just in the ring. No secret cult wrestling arena or whatever the fuck EC3 has now, apparently. The whole thing boils down to something that EC3 said in the ring, is that when he was yelling at Moose, he had an issue with the fact that Moose just took the title and didn't earn it like everyone else did who ever wore that belt. That could have been the entire fucking feud. The entire thing is just that EC3 needed to have Moose earn that championship if he's going to wear it. Fine, perfect. We didn't need to go through all this craziness. We didn't need to have EC3 become a mystical cult leader. We didn't need to have this overly produced sham of a match that everyone is doing now. We could have just done it. Just keep it simple. And it would have been perfectly fine.
I have not seen anyone destroy all hype around them that they had as fast as EC3 has. I remember... No. From Slammiversary to now, holy God. I remember when we saw him close out Slammiversary, this is going to be awesome. It wasn't. He's had literally, July, August, September, October. 4 months. 4 months. And he is the worst part of every episode of Impact. For 4 straight months. 3.5 months. Get off my back. I don't see him getting better because he's got it into his head that he's going to be the super creative guy. And he's not going to go back to the Ethan Carter III persona because that's dead and buried. And who wants to? Everyone. We all want to see it.
Everyone loved it.
Like, holy hell. I made this analogy last night. I'll make it again. Remember the old story of Ric Flair being told by, who was it, Hurd, that Hurd wanted to turn Ric Flair into Spartacus, and Ric Flair's like, that's the stupidest fucking thing I've ever heard. This is that. Only now. Someone should have said, I want to do this narrative controlling, super cult leader, but not a cult, but we're all kind of, sharing a symbiotic root. No, Ethan, no. Derek, no. That's fucking stupid. You're coming back as Ethan Carter III. We're paying you 6 goddamn figures a year to do this gimmick. Fucking, your ideas are dumb. This is dumb. You're dumb. Like, I've been sitting here thinking, God, I so want them to sign Nick Aldis, just because it would at least give them a world title, a world champion in the main event scene that's dependable. We know Nick Aldis isn't gonna, light the mic on fire or burn down the ring with his matches. But what we get is consistent, and with what we're getting from like guys like EC3, the Good Brothers, Eric Young, oh God, talk about a litany of bad signings. I never would have thought, after all the hype and hoopla, that Heath was the best signing from Slammiversary.
Heath has been the best signing because they know how to fucking use him appropriately.
And, like, he's looking good in matches, but he's not dominating top guys. Like, there's the idea that he's improving and that you can build him up with that. He's constantly and almost effortlessly the segment of the week. And I don't even like Heath. Like, I'm not some Heath Slater fanboy. I didn't want him signed. So, like, that tells you something. So, I'm very much blah about Impact right now. They really loaded up on the wrong cast of characters. They're giving guys and gals way too much creative freedom. But there's hope. There's hope, and we'll get to him. He came back for
before we move on from the EC3, are we sure that it's EC3's ideas behind this and not Scott D'Amore?
Yes, and
Okay.
here's how I know this. He's working for both Impact and Ring of Honor at the moment. He's doing the same shit in Ring of Honor.
Aha.
Yeah, this is all his idea. Now, Scott D'Amore's been a terrible booker over the last 9 months. Really, going back all 2020, Scott D'Amore has fallen off the goddamn radar as far as booking goes.
Uh-huh.
So I'm not defending him, but no. Unfortunately, we can't pin this one on Scotty Boy. This is all on Ethan. Sorry, EC3. Fuck off. All right, let's get into Impact. We open up the show with a segment I don't give a fuck about. It's Swan. He's out. Then Eric Young's like, I want a rematch. And Swan's like, all right, let's end this feud now. And then Swan wins with bare feet. Yay.
Way to make EY look like less of a threat.
Right? Like, after you... It's not hard to book wrestling. We can reshape how wrestling is told. It's not a hard concept. You stop doing instant rematches. You put time limits on every match. Like, fuck. It simplifies itself so goddamn easily. And y'all are just annoying me now. So backstage we get Havoc. She looks disturbed as she informs Neva that Father James Mitchell is back to officiate the wedding. That's not going to go badly.
No.
We also then get a follow-up from the announcement from Bob Gloria that the Knockouts Tag Team titles are back. Tenille Dashwood, Tenille, Tenel, Tenelli Dashwood, and Alicia are looking for a partner to enter the tournament with. But why doesn't Tenelli just go with? Sorry. I was thinking Alicia, but I was thinking Kimberly. Duh. I don't know why I thought Tenelli Dashwood was Deanna Prazzo, but here we are. Here we are.
One can only hope.
Right. So anyway, Tenelle Dashwood and Alicia Edwards are looking for a partner to enter the tournament. Kira Hogan and Tasha Steelz make fun of Alicia for not having anyone to tag with until Jordan Grace goes, "Yeah, I'll fight." And then they're like, "Oh wait, this was a mistake."
I feel like that's very accurate in that Jordan's like, "Yeah, I'll fight you guys." They're like, "Oh, you're gonna tag with Alicia?" No, that's not what I said.
Said I'll fight you.
Never said nothing about tagging with Alicia.
I'm gonna fight you real hard. Tommy Dreamer dresses Road Warrior Animal takes on Brian Myers in a hardcore Halloween match. I don't know why this feud is still going on.
One could hope that it's not anymore.
Well, if Dreamer beating Myers in this match is any sign of how Impact sees Myers, hopefully he's not around next week. Just saying.
Can we... one more thing back to Bound for Glory real quick. Why the hell was Brian Myers eliminating everyone in that gauntlet match?
I have no idea. Like, they don't know how to book fucking Battle Royals for the life of them. And we got James Storm back and Sean Daivari.
That was something.
I like both Storm and Daivari's returns.
Daivari was fucking ripped.
Yeah, he's been jacked for a while. Mm-hmm. He was pretty jacked when he was Sheik Abdul Bashir. Do you know Daivari's only like 35 or 34?
Is he really?
Yeah.
I was wondering when he on Saturday whenever I was watching it. I was like, damn, how Daivari looks really good. How old is he? He was 35 makes sense for how good he looks.
He was 19 or 20 when he debuted with Muhammad Hassan 15 years ago. So,
wow.
Yeah. We then get Gia Miller congratulating Rhino on winning the Call Your Shot Gauntlet at Bound for Glory. Fun story here. Heath exploded his abdomen or had a hernia or pulled his groin or maybe his testicles finally dropped. Something like that happened. And that's why Rhino and not Heath won the Battle Royal.
Oh, really?
Yes. Heath ended up getting hurt, so Rhino basically won in his stead. But it was a great little caveat that if Rhino wins too, Heath's job will be fine. Now, maybe Heath was already injured heading into the match, and that's why they added the mandate that if Rhino wins, Heath is in too. But that's why Rhino won, is because Heath was hurt.
That would definitely make a bit of sense, because Heath wasn't looking great in that match.
Mm-hmm.
So I could believe that.
So Rhino says he's going to contend for the tag title with his good buddy Heath. Heathsicle Morris. There you go. There's your new name, Heath. There are rumors that Heath sustained an injury during the gauntlet, and he doesn't want that to affect his big money deal that Scott D'Amore has agreed to sign as per the stipulations to that match. So maybe it means that Rhino won't be tagging with Heath? I don't know. We'll see. We then get Reno Scum holding up Falaba for stealing the roll of money from Hernandez in order to fund Johnny Bravo's wedding. Fala tricks them into believing that Bravo has the cash, but really he just has an extra secure hiding spot for it. Oh, no. So I guess the three candidates for we'll get there. We don't want to jump the gun yet. Jokes. Triple XL defeated the Rascals. I feel like the Rascals are about to leave the company. They're losing all the time.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, they've been losing all the time for a while.
Yeah, and frankly, outside of the Treehouse stuff, I haven't been that into them lately. And they haven't been doing the Treehouse stuff lately.
That's true. I mean, and what does that say? If the Treehouse stuff was what was setting them apart and making them unique and special and fun to watch.
Mm-hmm.
The flippity doodahs, flippity days, that's not fun to watch anymore because everyone does it.
Did you say flippity doodahs, flippity days?
I did.
You know, you could have said flippity doodads, flippity daz, right?
Oh, son of a bitch.
God damn it! I hate when you blow things like that. Stick the joke. Come on. I've trained you better than that.
Trade shit.
Oh, I've molded you, developed you. By the time you saw a real podcast, you were already a man.
By the time I already saw a real podcast, I was like, wow, we're really shit, aren't we?
We're trash. So, yeah, it seems like the Rascals may be done in Impact, or at least they're not on the high contender side of things. Both Larry D and AC Romero are looking good-ish comparatively. So that's a good thing. They're both taking this contract with Impact seriously, so I appreciate that. I don't know why it says that it was an upset, though. Together, they're 600 pounds, and together, the Rascals are, I don't know, 202? And that's if Wentz is holding a 14-pound weight.
And these two teams have been trading wins over each other back and forth for a couple months now. So
yeah, it's not good. Not good. So let's get to the segment of the night. Deanna Prazzo has a new buddy. And all I gotta say, welcome back. Welcome home. Welcome back. Your dreams were your ticket out. Welcome back. She's brought in Barrister R.D. Evans. Now, do you know what the difference between a barrister and a lawyer is?
I have no idea.
A barrister tends to practice as advocates representing clients in court, whereas solicitors tend to perform the majority of their legal work in a law firm or office setting. Essentially, a barrister is a trial attorney. It's a fancy way of saying it. While a regular lawyer will try to settle. So she's bringing in the number one stunner, a hot gun shooter. Was it R.D. Evans? Again, we'll get there. For those who don't know who R.D. Evans is, he played, well, I guess played is the wrong way. He was Archibald Peck in Shikara. Or Mixed Martial Archie, as his friends call him. We love Mixed Martial Archie. We love R.D. Evans. We love Archibald Peck. Zach, have I ever sent you Archibald Peck's best moments?
I've definitely seen some of Archibald Peck's best moments.
There was a match between.
Okay.
Go on.
I was about to say I don't know if this is an updated list or not.
No, it's not an updated list. This is from like 8 years ago. There's an old match from Shikara where Chuck Taylor was fighting R.D. Evans, took him outside of the ring, and they're fighting in like a bingo hall, a VFW hall situation, and he pulls him to the wall, and there's like a foresty meadow painted mural on the wall, and there's like a pond or like a babbling brook or something. It's painted on the mural, and as Chuck Taylor's dragging him over here, he's like, "I'm gonna drown him," and he puts R.D. Evans' face right in the painting where the river is, and I'm just like, classic. Also, R.D. Evans returned to Shikara in I think like 2014, I want to say, via time traveling DeLorean. So he's pretty tits.
Did he get hit with the back fist to the future?
He did. Eddie Kingston hit him so hard, R.D. Evans went into the future. To be fair, every time Eddie Kingston hits someone, they go into the future. Granted, we just call it having a concussion these days, but they do wake up in a different, time frame. So I guess that counts.
Oh, how times have changed.
Right? So Artie Evans is now representing Deonna Purrazzo, and she's threatening legal action against Impact, which is ironic because Impact's legal offices, or attorneys, if you will, are actually quite astute at handling problems. Hi, Jeff Jarrett. So they're having their little shtick with Scott D'Amore. Then Su Yung shows up, and yeah, well, I think I'm a little ahead of on the segment. But Su Yung eventually shows up and drops in on the segment, and shit goes crazy.
Yeah.
I combined two segments into one, but what are you gonna do?
I mean, they were back to back.
Mostly, there was one in between, and it was the Machine Guns interview.
Oh, that's right.
We find out that Alex Shelley had an injury, which is why they did the spot at Bound for Glory where Josh Alexander pile drove him. Apparently, Shelley already had an injury prior to that. And this was the way of writing him off TV, or at the very least, writing him out of future matches for the foreseeable future. So he might be done for 2020. 6 to 8 weeks, I think, is the talk of the town. Then Triple XL comes up and attack Shelley and Shaven, hurting Shelley's neck even more. Seems a bit unnecessary. I'm not going to all of a sudden hate them more now. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
So, as mentioned before, Su Yung shows up and puts people in the mandible claw, and yeah.
And Deonna was not wearing the right attire for that spot.
You don't think?
No. She was desperately trying to keep everything contained.
You know, I don't mind. I don't have an issue if there's a puppy parade, if you will. Gotta love pretty women. That's all I gotta say. Gotta love pretty women. So anyway, we'll venture on down the line here. Moose interrupts Rich Swan's celebration, and they come to a Donnybrook, if you will, a building of a brouhaha. Set up to shenanigans. But then Willie Mack comes down and goes, "You're not going to be doing anything. By the by, why is Swan having a celebration after he already wrestled as champion? I don't know." Booking.
I don't know, man.
Still doing the TNA World title is the top promotional title. Whatever. I don't care. That's fine. Just actually defend it then. That's all I care about. I'm just saying. Moose declines and tells Willie that he's not going to get to decide when and where, but they will have a match. Swan enters his locker room where Sammy Callahan and Ken Shamrock are waiting for him. Callahan tells Swan that he'll be hearing from Lot from now on. Swan realizes that now he's the world champion. He has a huge target on his back. Why is this written into the review? Of course he realized that. He cannot be that dumb.
I don't know why it's written into the review, but I dug the segment because it's not one that you typically see for a new champion. So I like that it's not just, oh, Moose picked a fight and now he's going to fight Moose now. But everyone's coming out of the woodwork saying, hey, I'm coming after you now. So I dig that. That was actually solid writing.
Hopefully Shamrock's the one going for him. Hopefully Shamrock's the one going for him. I was yawning. Sorry. You still there? Did I lose you?
I'm still here.
Damn it.
Chad?
Yes.
I
said, damn it. You're still here.
Oh,
damn it.
That's that's a dangerous game you were playing.
Zach has been ready to quit since 2010. I know this. I'm not naive. So we get a recap.
I would say 2010, but it's
2012. Sorry, my bad.
Oh, okay, yeah, that'll work. I
forgot what Bound for Glory I brought you in on. So we get a video package from Saturday. Matt Striker does the introduction. We get video packages from Real Mick Foley. Sorry, God damn it, why did I read it like that? From Mick Foley, that's his Twitter account. Bret Hart, MMA legend Chael Sonnen, and of course The Rock. There's some big names for Mr. Ken Shamrock to get brought into the Hall of Fame. He gets a crystal or a glass plaque, which I thought was cool.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of looked like they cleaned off a piece of the aggro crag. Never gonna have a problem with that.
I really hope they did.
Right? Better than Dixie Carter giving them a watch.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys are going into the Hall of Fame. Here's a retirement watch because you're old, apparently. Dumb.
I feel like she was like, oh, Ric Flair bought himself a watch for when he went to the Hall of Fame. I'll do that for everybody.
No, you know what it was? She tried to think of a piece of jewelry that was similar but different to a ring.
Ah.
You could have done like a jacket, lady. Like, goddamn. We got a brawl between the Good Brothers and the North. The North believe the Good Brothers are also the worst investment Impact has ever made. I don't disagree.
No. On this one. Don't agree with him on the David Richards part, but this one he's spot on.
Yeah, we want David Richards back. In fact, that was my biggest pet peeve with Bound for Glory was that Eddie was like, you know, Sammy's going to be in Ken Shamrock's corner. Maybe I'll have someone in my corner. I'm like, ah! And then it ended up being a fucking kendo stick, and I got mad. So mad.
I missed that.
It was an interview with like WrestleZone, I think. Jimmy Jacobs goes to Rohit's party to celebrate his X Division title, and no one's there, and I love it.
Yeah.
It's so good. We then get, I think this is the main event. We get Kiera Hogan and Tasha Steelz versus Jordan Grace and Alicia. The best part was the girls, Alicia and Jordan, come out together, and Jordan does the bicep flex, so Alicia does it too, and Jordan just kind of looks at her like, "You're adorable for trying." I don't know where this tag team is going, but I'm here for it. But the newbies, the new tag team, they're not able to win over the established ones, and Kiera Hogan and Tasha get the win. Yep, that's just how it is. Do you think the ending, which saw Alicia collide with Jordan, is going to lead to a feud between the two, or is this going to be a situation where the two are like, listen, this shit's never going to happen again. We need to work together. TOGGER. I don't know how to spell. And they're going to turn into a tag team? Or do you think this is going to be a feud? Tag team or feud, Zach?
I'm gonna say tag team because I don't see how this could become a feud, or at least a feud that would be worth anyone's time.
I agree. It's not gonna be good. TIGGER. I was trying to turn together into the Tigger spelling.
Into Tigger,
but I couldn't do it. So I was like,
I appreciated.
So I'm sorry.
I appreciated the effort.
I'm sorry. I was also thinking of how to do it like the Together, like the band from MTV, the boy band from back in the day, where it was number 2 and then Gether.
Oh, yeah.
I miss them. I know my calculus. It says you plus me equals us. I know my calculus. It says you plus me equals us. I even did the hands fucking movements. I don't know why. It's just a thing. God damn it. Moving on. Willie Mack is filming a video message for a fan and moves him over the head with the TNA World Championship. That's going to be a very interesting OnlyFans account. It's Willie Mack getting hit in the head. People are into some weird fetishes. Then we get the wedding of John Eve Bravo and Rosemary. Everyone's dressed up in Halloween costumes. Zach, why did you not get married on Halloween?
Because my fiance's sister was married on Halloween, and they didn't want to duplicate that.
Did they do wedding? Did they do Halloween costumes on Halloween for the wedding?
I am unaware of whether they did or not.
Well, then there was an option and an avenue because I would have straight up come as the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. Actually, I would have came as a gorilla in a
Yeah.
suit, or at least a suit shirt, like one of those tuxedo shirts. I would need to find a white one though, because I would want it to obviously stand out. I'm a formal gorilla. I mean, come on. Oh, that's a great idea for a costume. It goes about as well as expected because it's a wrestling wedding. So, you know, someone dies.
I just love James Mitchell's officiating. Just any every single opportunity where it's like, oh, someone said something about not screwing up the wedding. What's gonna happen? Nothing happens. Well, I'll be damned.
Well,
so good.
The segment ends with Johnny Bravo getting shot by someone on stage.
Yeah.
Right through the heart. And who's to blame, darling? You give love. Bad name. Bad name. Now, is it Hernandez? Was it Reno Scum? Could it have been Falaba? Or was it Old Man Jameson? I would have gotten away with it, too, if it wasn't for you meddling kids and your dog, too. Roll, Reggie. Seems like we've got another adventure.
Like Swing Scoop. That Stay Puft Marshmallow Man gives me the creep.
He does give me the creeps. So who do you think shot JR? I mean JE. I think we're the only two people who got that reference. That is like our age.
Yeah. It is. And it's not even actually our age. It's more of just seeing commercials and shit for it or some bullshit.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, we're the only two people our age and younger who get that reference. Not even because we know that show, but we just know it for some reason. What is that, Dynasty or Dallas? I think it was Dallas.
I think it was Dallas.
Both were evening nights.
Soap opera.
Yes, thank you.
Telenovelas.
Telenovela. Anyway.
So John E. Bravo gets shot. Part of me there's a small part of me that's like, okay, there's gonna be some wacky whodunit thing going on. All right, I can dig that. And then the rest of me is just like, why didn't she just suck out his soul and kill him in a demonic ritual like I was promised?
It's interesting. I don't know. And I kind of don't care.
Part of me still thinks it's Rosemary.
I don't think it was Rosemary because I think the whole point was that she needed a living virgin for her sacrifice or what have you.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and like, as everyone was looking down at his corpse, like Rosemary's face was just, that's not how that was supposed to go.
Yeah, she did not seem at all concerned.
No. She was more of just confused as to how her succubus plan went so awry.
So, obviously this is setting up a gimmick change for Johnny Bravo. But are we going to get a comedical zombie, skeleton boy, Scully boy? I have a joke for you. I'm going to find that and I'm going to send it to you again. What is a skeleton's favorite food? Why must you disappoint me so always? Ribs! Spare ribs! Damn! But yeah, so are we gonna get like a Skelly kind of Johnny Bravo? Or are we gonna get like a serious evil Johnny Bravo? Because he is a trained wrestler.
Yeah.
Won't be interesting.
Yeah, it would be interesting. I mean, Honestly, I was kind of hoping that he was gonna be off camera because I'm kind of over the Bravo personally.
Would you still be over the Bravo if he had a severe gimmick change?
If he has severe gimmick change, then I mean, obviously it would depend on the gimmick, but I would give it a shot.
Okay.
But
Who shot him?
honestly, before we get to that, honestly, the thing I was hoping the most from this angle was obviously, as I said, Rosemary rips out his soul, and she like kind of goes back to a more
Evil.
like more evil, more intimidating, more like what she was when she first came in,
Mm-hmm.
but possibly more intense and more, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Obviously not exactly the same, but
More
more in that
Decay,
realm.
Crazy Steve range.
Yes.
Could
Also,
we see a Crazy Steve, Johnny Bravo, Decay team up?
that's possible. It is possible. I did love that Crazy Steve brought Rosemary down the aisle. That was great.
That's just tear
That was that
down
was
the
right
cheek.
there. hmm Beautiful. But who shot John E. Bravo? I don't think it was Hernandez. I feel like that's too obvious.
Well, he did run over a 10-year-old.
Did he?
Do you not remember the LAX OGs feud where Kingston, Homicide, and Hernandez ran over a 10-year-old?
I don't remember that part of it. No.
Oh my god, it was the best worst part about it. His name was like Miguel or Tim. He's a Mexican boy, so his name was Clyde, obviously. No, it was like Little Richie, I think, is what his name was. Yeah, they fucking ran his ass over, and I was just like, what are we doing with this company? So I agree with you. Hernandez, not the most likeliest. Neither was Reno Scum.
No. Not Falaba.
No, because he was standing next to him, and the shot came from the stage.
Yes. So, see, now I need to.
So I went to school for criminology, yes.
Yes.
My dream before I realized that I didn't want to be surrounded by death all the time was to be a profiler.
That is a fair reason to not pursue it.
Yeah, because considering profilers mostly deal with rapists and murders, yeah, that seemed like it would taint my soul. And let's be honest, it's already pretty gray.
Yeah.
So let's look at motivation. Now, we know that Falaba gave Johnny Bravo or told Hernandez that Johnny Bravo had the money.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't track for two reasons. One, it's the red herring of the storyline, but let's look at this as if we are actually hired to investigate this. It doesn't track because why would he be shot and not mugged?
Shooting him would not get the money back.
No, especially if they shot him in the middle of the ring where they're not by him. Now, if Hernandez was next to him, shot him, then took the money, okay, fair enough. But that's not what happened. So now we have to ask ourselves, why would someone want Johnny Bravo dead? And why would they wait until now to do it? Now, that question only comes down to one answer: to prevent him from getting married to Rosemary. So who's got the hubba hubbas for the Rosemary?
An obvious suspect on that line would be Crazy Steve.
Yes, but we know Steve was in the ring at the time of the shot.
True. There is also, going back to House of Wrestling, or Wrestle House, Lawrence D.
Was Lawrence D in the wedding, though?
Was he in the wedding? I'm not sure. I'm trying to get a good look of who all was around the ring.
So then we move to a tertiary idea. We have, obviously, Johnny Bravo may have money that Hernandez wants. That's one. Maybe the shot was to prevent him from getting married to Rosemary. That's two. The third option What if he wasn't the target?
That was another question. That is another thought. Also, Triple XL was at ringside.
So they're out of the running.
But the question I was thinking was, what if the actual target was Father James Mitchell?
I like where you're going with that.
That would put Havoc in there as a suspect.
Was Havoc at ringside?
She was.
Then it would not make her a suspect.
All right.
Because we got to remember, the shot came from the stage. Now, granted, one could argue, well, that just means that someone ran up to the stage and possibly shot him. And that makes sense. That's completely possible. But it doesn't seem the most likely. So what we're going to need to do, I think for next week, we're going to need to comb the footage, look at the roster, and try to deduce who may have had a reason to kill Johnny Bravo and or Mitchell and or Rosemary, and who wasn't there in the wedding. Perhaps the shot did not come from the stage.
It's possible.
Because I just rewatched it back, and it does it seems small, which makes the shot seem small. The fire seems small. So possibly not. And it seems to come in the ring. Okay, so we're getting more information as I'm rewatching this back. So they set the shot up on an angle, and the angle does not change from when it's dark to when it goes back to light. And we know this because Kiera Hogan's at ringside wearing blue shoes. I know that seems like a dumb thing to kind of point out.
Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying.
But when the lights go black or the lights go out, we change camera angles.
Yep.
And you can see Kiera Hogan's light up shoes. That tells us that the shot does not change after the firing of the gun. So that means that the shot had to come from within the ring, which means that there are a lot of suspects now. And we know that the shot comes from right about where Crazy Steve is standing. Interesting. Interesting.
Is it Crazy Steve? It's either Crazy Steve or Falaba, where they're not who did it, but where they're standing.
I want to say it was where Crazy Steve is standing, because it seems like it came from that side of the line, just off the initial kind of explosion. So I'm gonna point to where Crazy Steve's hands are and backtrack and see if I can't get the shot.
Oh man, what if it was the monkey?
Oh God, that'd be great. So it seems that it comes from almost dead center. Let's see. Who would that be? It looks like it was... Because it looks like from where the shot was, it looks like it would come from Crazy Steve as Steve had his hands down by his hips like he was a six-shooter. It would not be a shot that would come from Falaba because Bravo's back was to Bob. So that doesn't seem to be the way to go. I think Crazy Steve's our primary suspect because he has motive. He has a history with Rosemary. We don't know how deep that history goes. We know they were quite close, and we know that since his return, they have not been as close, mostly because of Johnny Bravo. We know that Crazy Steve kind of has a weird morality. He stole the beer of the Deaners and let the Deaners and Triple XL get into a fight over it.
Yep.
So we know that he's kind of playful in his antics, if you will. And he didn't tell anyone that he stole the beer because he didn't feel the obligation to. And probably because he didn't like the fact that they were jumping to conclusions. But that's me jumping to a conclusion. We also know that, there's been some tension with Johnny Bravo and his wedding party.
Very true.
So it's entirely possible that he shot Johnny Bravo. Did we just solve this mystery?
Hmm. It's possible that we did. A furthering a motive, and Crazy Steve supposedly, I agree with your line of thinking. Another thought could be that Crazy Steve was like, I see Rosemary, Johnny, and she's with Johnny Bravo, and that's not right. This is not how Rosemary is. This is not the Rosemary that I know.
Mm-hmm.
How do I get that Rosemary back
Very possible.
and reform Decay where we were at our most powerful?
I have an adjunct idea.
Ooh,
Perhaps Crazy Steve did it because he's, well, crazy.
possible.
If they make it Jake Diener or Cody Diener, because I'm pretty sure that's Cody next to Crazy Steve, I'm going to be
Yes, I
shocked.
believe so.
I'm going to be real shocked. Could also have been Rosemary. Shock came from about the same place where Rosemary could have been standing.
Mm-hmm. Could have been. Again, I I feel like that's a possibility because it was probably going to happen anyway. But the gunshot is weird, and as far as we know, whatever sort of ritual she was planning for the extroversion Bravo hadn't been fulfilled yet. And typically, I feel like you need those people alive.
Yeah, it's possible. Certainly a situation that will have many a question surrounding it until we get some resolution.
Mm-hmm.
So then, until next week, we are done. Unless you have anything else you want to mention.
No, I'm good.
Zachy Boy, our favorite or one of our favorite holidays, is in 4 days. It's this Saturday,
Mm-hmm.
Halloween. If you're trick or treating people, wear your masks. If you're handing out candy, be courteous and wear some gloves as well. And do the spooky ookie and dance the night away. I don't know. I got nothing. RealNerdCorp.com. RealNerdCorp.com. We're on Twitter at NERDCORP. On Instagram at RealNerdCorp. We are on. You're on Twitter. No, you are, but no. Instagram and
No.
DeviantArt at the same handle. Instagram and DeviantArt is Radiance2020, RADIANCE2020. Correct?
Sure.
Okay. I was kind of like, did I spell Radiance right? You can also find me on Twitter at ChadNerdCorp, ChadNerdCorp, and on Instagram at Chad's Photo Hut. The website, once again, RealNerdCorp.com, RealNerdCorp.com. If you like the show, subscribe. We actually had a nice influx of subscribers over the last few days, so haha. Cool. Neat. Be sure to check out the website, RealNerdCorp.com. We have a new Woman Crush of the Week and a new Wrestler of the Week. If you follow the NWA or whatever that Showdown Wrestling nonsense from Hollywood is called, I don't know what the fuck the name is. It's fucking stupid. Showdown Radio Network or Wrestling Network, I don't know. If you follow them and Impact, you should be able to figure out who the Wrestler of the Week and Woman Crush of the Week is. But if you don't, they're on the website. Go check it out. Other than that, we're done. We're off tomorrow night. I am behind on podcast uploads, so we are uploading those 2 a day because Sunday was a big issue for some reason with bandwidth for whatever reason. So it sent me back a day or two, so I'm catching up, but the podcasts are going up. So, thumbs up. Zachary, say goodnight.
Good night, Johnny Bravo.